Welcome inside the 2022 Audi RS3 Saloon. I'm at Coulsdon Marshall Audi. Please visit them if you want to check out an Audi. I'm going to show you around the 2022 RS3 infotainment system and show you how everything works in this video. Okay, let's start off with the basics. This is the main screen of the RS3 infotainment system. As you can see, there are 3 pages at the bottom here. We've got our home page as such, which has got all the widgets on it. And you can have the radio, your telephone, your maps, and you can adjust these and change what it shows. And you can actually interact with this as well, which is a very interesting way of doing things. And you can also set a home address. And then you've got our first page of menu items, radio, media, telephone, navigation, Android Auto or CarPlay, which is wireless and automatically connects. And in this, the launch edition, you can also charge it wirelessly as well. Car settings, favorites, general settings, help, users, messages, calendar, news, weather, legal, purchases. Purchases lets you add features to the car if it's missing features. This is a very well spec'd car, so that's unlikely to be the case here. So let's just go through these quickly because most of these are pretty obvious and very self-explanatory. Radio will take you into your radio and you'll be able to see all the radio stations. And it's got DAB digital radio, and you can swap between DAB, between FM, AM, and search and last stations, and adjust various settings on there. Media will take you to whatever media you're using, so you can have Bluetooth as your source, you can have a USB device, you can have an external device, streaming services as well. This is now connected to Android Auto, so that is why it will not be showing anything connected. Obviously, you can go into the settings here and adjust that as well. You can have online radio in high bit rates, so you use less data as well. Also worth noting, down the side here, I didn't mention this before, we have our home, radio, music, phone, and navigation shortcut buttons. You can move these around by holding down and pressing on them and adjusting their position, same with the information on the main screen as well. You can move that around exactly the same way. So that's how you adjust that. So next we're going to go to telephone. Telephone is exactly what you would expect. It's your telephone. Obviously, you can access this through Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. And then if we go over to navigation, so navigation will open up Audi's navigation system, and you can search by destinations, location. You can search by typing in where you want to go, points of interest. You can also search with Google as well, and you can tell Google where you want to go and it will basically do it. And I could type in with this touchscreen, Starbucks, and
STARBUCKS.
And that's a miracle it actually understood my writing because I can barely read my writing. And then obviously I can navigate to it as well. So it's using Google to get that information. That's quite handy. It means you have a bit of extra information you wouldn't be able to get as well. Part of Audi's connected services, which is handy to have. You can turn the traffic on and off. And of course, one thing which I've always loved about Audi's is you can change the map settings so you can have satellite map, and the satellite map will then appear in the middle of the screen as well. I've always loved that satellite map. You can have it in the middle of the virtual cockpit and have it full screen, which I think looks fantastically cool. So that's our navigation. We've got our car settings. So this is the most interesting area. We've got our Audi Drive Select, and we've got our RS3 options. We've got efficiency, comfort, auto, and dynamic. Now, there was no efficiency mode on the 8V RS3. If you check out my comparison video on that, that only had comfort, auto, and dynamic. So this has got efficiency and extra mode. This also has RS individual, RS performance, and RS torque rear. So the settings here on the Drive Select, they're automatically filled out. You can't adjust them. Auto basically lets you go between driving comfortably, and then when you want to speed up, it gives you more performance. Dynamic is obviously much more dynamic, but it's designed to work with the roads you're driving on. Whereas if we go into RS performance, that's designed for the racetrack. And so you get a much more focused driving experience. The suspension gets tighter and harder, and it turns off the pre-sense, which means you have less safety features. And you also get an acceleration measurement, so you can measure 0 to 60. You can adjust the settings on RS Performance. You can change your suspension between dynamic and comfortable, steering comfortable, balance dynamic, and the stability control on or dynamic. There's also a new mode, RS Individual, which gives you a tiny bit more control, and this allows you to adjust the RS torque splitter as well, so you can see if the car's going to slip a bit when you go around corners, allows you just to drive system, suspension, steering, engine sound, and again with the stability control. And then we've got our RS Torque Rear, which will literally let you drift around corners, which you can turn on by pressing that button, and it warns you about that as well. And then on the virtual cockpit, it does say Torque Rear in the middle there. That's Drive Select. Let's go into the RS monitor. I don't know if you can hear also the car sounds louder inside as well. So we've got our RS monitor, which shows our car temperature, the engine oil, the coolant, the gear oil, and it shows it by color coding. So it's saying that the coolant is warm and everything else is cold, and it's very cold today, 2.5 degrees according to the car here. We've got our G meter, and we've got our tire pressure loss indicator, which only works when the car is being driven. So those are your RS performance modes. Then we've got our efficiency assist. This will basically help you try and get as much efficiency out of the car as you can by giving you messages about slowing down and turning off the heating. We've got our AC controls, which turns auto recirculation on and off. We've got our lights and vision. So this is our exterior lighting, our automatic headlights, entry-exit lights, our background lighting, which is our ambient lighting. And in this car, you can have the little aluminium inlays or metal inlays have lights in them as well as the door cards and the center console bit as well. And you can have a choice between solar, which are predetermined, impulse, maritime, changing for Audi Drive Select, and then individual, which lets you adjust the surfaces and the contours of the areas as well. And you've got 30 options here of colors, and same with the contours. And you can adjust the brightness as well to whatever you want. And if we go back out of here, you can see again, brightness on and off. Very, very simple to use. And you've got really cool ambient lighting as a result. You got your rain sensor, which will automatically turn on the windscreen wipers, which seems quite a good thing to put on, if you ask me. Your parking aid. So this car has automatic parking. You can, however, adjust when the sensors are on or off, and you can adjust the infotainment when you're listening as well. We've got our driver assist settings. So this car has a driver assistant pack. It's got a lot of assistant features. Speed warning. It will let you know if you go too fast. Adaptive cruise assist, which will predict and slow down with the speed limit and adapt to the route ahead. Very clever. More processing power in this car than the previous generation. Distance warnings, lane departure warning, Audi Presense, emergency assist, hazard alerts, rest accommodation. So again, emergency assist, it warns you if it detects driving activity. Audi Presense, again, it will help you swerve if you need to swerve. It will let you know if somebody's pulled out suddenly, or a car stopped just in front of you, or a car stopped in front of you and you need to brake suddenly. And then we've got our lane departure warning, vibration warning. So that's the driver assist. Settings and service, hold assist, there's no hold button in the middle here, so you can turn it on and there. Central locking, car information, Audi Connect Key, which is very cool, which lets you basically turn the car on and off with the Audi Connect Key. I really like this. This is not on other UK cars, it's only on the launch edition. Call up security code, you can bring the security code. I won't show you that because we don't want to give that away. Tire pressure loss indicator, wiper change position, so it basically stays up when you want to change the windscreen wipers. And then we can go over to settings, which is then display and brightness. So this now allows me to adjust the head-up display, the height, what is displayed in it. Do I want the navigation? Do I want extra information on here? Brightness, rotation, all there for you, ready to go. Virtual cockpit. Let's have a look now at the virtual cockpit settings. So let's go to RS Sport mode. And this is the round dials on the RS3. And on the round dials, I can scroll in like that using the button on the steering wheel. I can go full screen. Can we get the whole world like we used to do on the 8V? I think we can get the whole world. How far back will it go? Let's see. Yes, we can get the whole world. We can also scroll through phone numbers, notes, mileage, etc., and go full screen like this. And then if I tap on the side here, I can also bring up my map information. So you do have a lot of control here and configurability up here. Now, this is the RS Sport mode. This is a round dial mode. Lots of people are used to. Let's go into the RS Performance mode now. So we're changing to RS Performance mode. So now this mode has the Boomerang style design in the infotainment system, and you can see here, and again, you can make this full screen as you just saw, and again, I can scroll through everything just like before, no problems whatsoever. And I can also again adjust what's on the side here with the map. So lots of configurability here. If we go over to our computer, I can then actually change what's shown on the side here. So I can have my sports displays. So I can have a tire pressure on this side of my G meter. I can have my reduced display if I want to, which is just that in the middle there. Or I can go back to my onboard computer. So I have the ability to control that and choose there what I want. Now the next thing I can do is, so you get automatic activation of RS display and layout, which will happen when you put it into that mode. But if we go into RS performance mode, you now get the runway design. Now, I really like this design. Lots of people online do not like this, but I do like it. And it works just like before. I can still have my sports displays. I can still have my onboard computer. I can still have my Google Maps. But I've got this cool runway design here. I really like the configurability of the Audi Virtual Cockpit. I think it is the best there is, if I'm honest. And on the RS3, the first RS car with so many different options here that you can use and can work. It's really quite exciting. So that is a virtual cockpit in the RS3. Let's put it into torque rear mode. And you can see now it says torque rear, and it turns off the stability control as well. I just wanted to show you that because it's been hard to show that any other way. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 2022 Audi RS3. Again, big thank you to Marshall Coulsdon Audi. Please give them a visit. There's a lot more to come on the channel, so stay subscribed and like this video for more. Thank you very much.